Hello everyone, my name is Deborah Shuchek and I'm an undergraduate psychology student at Concordia University. Today I'm going to be talking to you about a conceptual replication study done to examine the construct validity of the Hexaco 60 personality inventory. So we will begin with a short introduction to the topic, followed by the methods used and the results of the study, wrapping up with a conclusion. Personality influences our behavior in meaningful ways, and knowing universal personality traits helps psychologists make important behavioral predictions. The Hexaco Personality Inventory was created through lexical studies in several languages and identifies 6 major dimensions of personality. These distinct dimensions are honesty, humility, emotionality, extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and openness to experience. Every trait is comprised of 4 distinct facets. There is often a limited amount of time available when measuring the personality traits of research participants, so a shorter version of Hexaco, named Hexaco 60, was created. The current study is a conceptual replication to find evidence for the construct validity of the shorter version. There continues to be debate about the usefulness of Hexaco's 6-dimension honesty humility compared to the original 5-factor model. And as Maxwell et al. Emphasized, there is a need to perform multiple replication studies in order to identify the true effects of a study. Mezig's framework describes validity as the extent to which a study accurately measures or evaluates what it claims to. Mezig says that construct validity is the only type of validity, with everything else being evidence for it. One such type of evidence is for the internal structure, which can be found by looking at convergent and divergent patterns of correlation. Convergent patterns refer to correlations with other measures of the same construct, while divergent patterns refers to a lack of correlation with measures of other constructs. The present study is expected to replicate the findings of Lee and Ashton's study showing divergent patterns of evidence for internal structure. Specifically, Hypothesis 1 states that the traits of agreeableness and honesty humility should have a low positive correlation with each other. Hypothesis 2 is that extroversion and openness to experience will have a low positive correlation with one another. Finally, because the traits are intended to be distinct from one another, the third hypothesis is that all other traits will have negligible interscale correlations. The participants in the current study are 199 Concordia University students enrolled in Research Methods 2. The first 10 participants to complete the study were removed, resulting in 189 participants being included in the analysis. The survey was administered through Qualtrics, an online questionnaire system. Responses were given by self-report using the Likert scale. The scales used are Hexaco 60, the Moral Identity Scale, a moral reasoning task involving conditional syllogisms, and 4 other questions: estimated GPA, university performance, ethical performance, and time spent outdoors. The procedure is as follows. First, participants read the instructions. Then they're presented with Hexaco 60. Once completed, they are asked to estimate their overall university performance, indicate their estimated GPA, indicate how much time they spend outdoors, and indicate how important it is for them to act ethically towards others. Next, participants were given the Moral Identity Scale. Finally, participants were presented with the Moral Reasoning task. Results were analyzed using Excel. On the right side of the slide, we can see an example of the Moral Reasoning task. Now let's take a look at the results of the study. The results of this analysis are contained in Table 1. Based on Cohen's guidelines, an R-score equal to 0.1 is a small correlation, 0.3 is moderate, and 0.5 is large. Results showed a low positive correlation between agreeableness and honesty humility, with R equal to 0.28. A low negative correlation was found between extroversion and openness to experience, with R equal to negative 0.19. Additionally, openness to experience and conscientiousness showed a moderate positive correlation of R equal to 0.3. Emotionality and extroversion showed a moderate negative correlation of R equal to negative 0.32. Finally, honesty, humility, and conscientiousness showed a moderate positive correlation of R equal to 0.44. So what do these results mean? As predicted by the assumptions of Hexaco, honesty, humility, and agreeableness showed a low positive correlation due to conceptual similarity, supporting Hypothesis 1. This replicates the results of Ashton and Lee. However, surprisingly, the current study found a low negative correlation between extroversion and openness to experience, showing an inverse relationship rather than the expected positive one. This does not support the second hypothesis and is surprising because previous studies have found them to be positively correlated. However, it's important to note that in their study, Ashton and Lee found a low positive correlation between these 2 traits in their community sample, but the college sample was negligible. Additionally, several moderate correlations were found between traits, which does not support the third hypothesis. Moderate correlations suggest that certain traits may not be as orthogonal as they should be, bringing into question the distinctiveness of the constructs. In the original study by Ashton and Lee, no correlations reached a moderate level of 0.3, while the current study had 3 correlations reaching that level. A reason for the current findings could be the sample that was used for the current study, as we only had university students and no community sample. Further replication studies should be conducted to determine whether these findings are valid, as according to Maxwell et al., one replication study is not enough to determine validity. Findings overall do not provide evidence of divergent validity according to Mezig's framework. Thank you for your time.